Hello guys, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing fine. Uh, in this video, we are going to continue with our lesson for the Pythagorean theorem. But this time around, we are going to be looking at spatial angles. All right, we're going to be looking at spatial angles. Yeah, you can look in page 558 in your textbooks, right? Spatial triangles, spatial right triangles. Okay. Remember, in the Pythagorean theorem, we said that the formula is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, right? Yeah, and we use that formula to find any of the sides, right, in the right angle triangle. But there are some other spatial right angle triangles that that we are going to be looking at. They are actually called spatial right angle triangles. Okay, spatial right triangles. And these spatial right triangles, one of them is the triangle that has two 45 degrees edges, right? Here, 45 degrees, here, 45 degrees, and here we have 90 degrees. No, it's a right angle triangle, right? Here we all know it's 90 degrees here. But the special thing here is these two corners here and here, these two angles, right? These two angles of the triangle are the same. It's a spatial triangle, right? With 45, 45, 90. It's a spatial triangle, okay? 45, 45, 90. So where we have here is the 90 degrees, and here is the 45 degrees, and here is the 45 degrees. And in this triangle, this length is equal to this length, right? This length is equal to this length. So the length here is x, and the length here is also x. And the hypotenuse is the square root of 2. The square root of 2 times x. This hypotenuse, the hypotenuse is the square root of 2 times x. All right? So we are going to be using this spatial triangle to solve other problems. So take note, in this spatial triangle of 45, 45, 90, right? 45, 45, 90, these two lengths are the same. X at this length is the same as this length. They have equal length, okay? This leg and this leg, they have equal length. And they are marked XX. And here, the hypotenuse is square root of x, okay? Square root of x, right? Square root of 2, square root of 2 times x, right? Square root of 2 times x. So we're going to be looking at that here. So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the hypotenuse is the square root of 2, the square root of 2. This is the hypotenuse here, this line here, the longest line, right? The hypotenuse is the square root of 2 times as long as each leg, right? Square root of 2 times as long as each leg. You know, each leg here is x, right? So you can either use this leg or this leg. Both of them are the same. So the square root of 2 times one of these legs, right? Times the length of one of these legs, okay? Then you have the hypotenuse, okay? So you have a hypotenuse equal to leg, one of the legs, right? Either this or this, one of the legs, right? Times the square root of 2, right? So here we have an example here. Find the hypotenuse in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, okay? This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which means that this angle is 45 and this angle here is 45, right? And here is 90. Now, this is the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse, right? And we have the two legs here. This first leg here is 3. This other leg here is 3. Now, we don't know the hypotenuse, right? We want to find the hypotenuse, right? So we want to find the value of x, which is the hypotenuse. So by the triangle sum theorem, the measure of the third angle is 45, right? And the triangle is 45, 45, 90. So the right triangle is the right, so the right triangle. So the length x of the hypotenuse is the square root of 2 times the length of a leg, right? So the hypotenuse, remember the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 2 times one of the legs, right? Times one of these legs, okay? So which is going to be x equal to the square root of 2 times 3. All right? The square root of 2 times 3. 3 is one of these legs. You either use this or this, but both of them have the same length, right? Both of them have the same length. Sorry, I didn't even put on the timer. Sorry. Okay. Just a minute, please. Okay. Okay. All right. Timer. All right. So both of them have the same length, right? Okay. Then so you can calculate that using your calculator, right? And you definitely get to the answer. X is equal to the square to 3 times the square root of 2. So you can further calculate this with your calculator, find the square root of 2, and then you multiply by 3, right? But if your answer, you can end your answer here. It's okay, right? You can end your answer here, okay? All right. So you can end it that way. So then the example 2, find a leg in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, okay? Here we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now, in this case, we have the hypotenuse, right? We have the hypotenuse, but we don't have these legs, right? We don't know these legs, right? We want to find these legs. And remember, we said the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 2 times one of the legs, right? The square root of 2 times a leg, right? Times one of this leg. Therefore, it is going to be the square root of 2 times x, right? So the hypotenuse will be equal to the square root of 2 times x. And here, the hypotenuse is 5, right? So we are finding for the value for that. So here, the hypotenuse is 5. So we have here 5 is equal to the square root of 2 times x, okay? Since the hypotenuse is 5, we know it already. So 5 is equal to the square root of 2 times x. Now, what do we do such that we can take away, we can cancel out the square root of 2 from this side such that we can leave x alone, because we are looking for the variable x, right? We are looking for x, so we want to take away x. So we can divide both sides by the square root of 2, right? We can divide both sides. So put here the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2, 5 divided by the square root of 2, okay? So this will cancel out with this, okay? Square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2 is 1, right? Anything divided by itself is 1. So the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 2 is 1. So x will be left here all by itself. Now, and 5 over the square root of 2. 5 over the square root of 2. So, and how do we, this is not a proper fraction, right? Because the square root of 2 is small, right? The square root of 2 is small. To make it a proper fraction, to try and make it a proper fraction, we will use surds, okay? We multiply both sides by the square root of 2. We multiply the up and down side, the up and down by the square root of 2, okay? The square root of 2. So square root of 2 times 5 will be 5 the square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, right? Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. So we have here 5 times the square root of 2 over 2. So x is equal to 5 times the square root of 2 over 2. So the main thing in this solution is to remember the fact that the hypotenuse here, this hypotenuse is equal to square root of 2 times a leg, right? If you have this formula in your mind, right, then you just have to apply, you just have to apply it here, right? Since we have the hypotenuse is 5 and is equal to square root of 2 times a leg, which is x, right? And we get to solve for x. And here we have x to be 5 square root of 2 over 2, right? So this is the value of x. So we have the value of x here, and we have the value of x here, right? Okay. So this is a 45 triangle theorem, right? And we substitute the value, okay? So we divide each side and then we simplify, okay? So this is how we solve for the 45, 90. If we have memorized the formula already, then we can solve any of the 45, 90 triangles, right? But these are special triangles, all right? Okay, so we are going to look at another special triangle. These are some questions that you can try. You can try these questions on your own, all right? Yeah, these ones, you can try them on your own, okay? You can try the questions on your own, all right? So it's a 45, 90 triangle, okay? And this one, we have, this is a 45, 90. We have 5 times the square root of 2 here, and we are looking for x here for these two sides, okay? If you got it right, you will have your answer to be 5 and 5, okay? So you can try and test yourself by solving the problem. Like here we have the hypotenuse. You can pause the video here, you can pause the video and then try to do it by yourself, okay? And try to do it by yourself, okay? So 1, 2, 3. All right, so if you're back in the video, then you will find that you must have found that the leg is 10 here and 10 here, right? Here, we have one of the legs, right? We don't have the hypotenuse. I remember the hypotenuse is square root of 2 times one of the leg, which is 2. And square root of 2 times 2, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, right? Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. So probably the hypotenuse here is 2, right? The hypotenuse is 2. So it's very easy, just use the same formula and you have it all the time, right? So we have here the 2 legs, but we don't know the hypotenuse. So you can just pause the video and try to find the hypotenuse, all right? You can pause the video and try to find the hypotenuse, okay? All right. So if you got it, if you pause the video and did it, then your answer will be 6. Okay. So this is another example. This is another exercise. You can do it for yourself. Here the answer is 8. Okay. So here the hypotenuse is 20. You can pause the video. All right, so if you did pause the video and you look for the hypotenuse and you look for the legs, right? Because here we have the hypotenuse. So it will be 20. 20 is equal to square root of 2 times x, right? Then you now look for the value of x. And if you look for the value of x, you will find it is 10, 10 times the square root of 2, right? 10 times the square root of 2. So this is another spatial triangle. This one is another spatial triangle. It's the second spatial triangle that we are going to be looking at. And it's the 30, 60, 90 triangle theorem, right? The 30, 60, 90 triangle theorem. Remember, the first one was 45, 45, 90, right? This one is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now, in this 30, 60, 90 triangle, we have here, this is the 90, the angle 90, angle 60, and angle 30, right? So in this spatial triangle, whenever you see a triangle with these angles, 30, 60, and 90, then you should know that the hypotenuse is 2 times the shortest length, all right? The hypotenuse is 2 times the shortest length and this base, right? The second longest leg of the triangle is square root of 3 times the length of the shortest leg, right? The square root of 3 times the length of the shortest leg, all right? Okay, so remember, this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. It's a spatial triangle. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? And in this triangle, the hypotenuse here, the hypotenuse, which is the longest leg, right, is 2 times the length of the shortest leg. Is 2 times the length of the shortest leg, and the second longest leg of the triangle is square root of 3 times the length of the shortest leg. Okay, so we are going to use this to solve problems of this nature. Okay, problems that are based on this spatial triangle. Okay, now let's look at it. Let's look at some of the examples. Okay, so here example 3 says finding side length in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? Finding the side length in a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, how do we do that? We know we want to look for this side length here. We want to look for x, and we also want to look for t. Remember, to get the t is equal to 2 times the shortest leg, and the shortest leg here is s, right? So t is equal to 2 times s, right? T is equal to 2 times s. And here, the second longest leg, right? The second longest leg is equal to the square root of 3 times s. The square root of 3 times s. We are going to use this one since we have the second longest, the value of the second longest leg here already, right? So we are going to use it so to do our calculations, okay? So here 5 is equal to, because this second longest leg is 5, okay? So 5 is equal to square root of 3. Remember, the longer leg, right? This is the second longest leg among in the triangle, which is equal to square root of 3 square root of 3 times the length of the shortest leg, okay? So 5 is equal to square root of 3 times s. Square root of 3 times s. Now we want to look for s. We want to get this value here, s. We want to get the value s. Okay, so what do we do to make sure that the square root of 3 move on this other side? We have to divide both sides by the square root of 3, right? We divide both sides by the square root of 3, such that this square root of 3 will cancel out with this square root of 3, right? This square root of 3 will cancel out with this square root of 3, right? And then we will be left with s here all alone. Then s will be equal to 5 over square root of 3. 5 over square root of 3. Now, we don't have to, we are not supposed to keep the square root at the bottom, right? So we are going to use surd, and the formula for surd is that we have to multiply both sides. We will multiply both sides, both the top and the bottom by square root of 3. So square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3, right? Square root of 3 times square root of 3, this 3 times this 3, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3, okay? Then square root of 3 times 5 is 5 into square root of 3. So we have here 5 into square root of 3 over 3 equal to s. So this is the value of s. This is the value of s. Now, if we want to get the value for t, 15 minutes already. So if we want to get the value of t, we will just use the formula. Since t is equal to 2s, right? T is equal to 2s. So t will be equal to 2 times 5 square root of 3 over 3. All right. Let us look at it together. So we divide both sides by 3 and we simplify, okay? And we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the square root, okay? Then now, for the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the shorter leg, right? Which is s, right? So 2 times s. So the hypotenuse t is equal to 2 times 5 square root of 3 over 3, right? And t is equal to 10. Since 5 times 2 is 10, right? So t is equal to 10 square root of 3 over 3. So this is the value of t, right? You see, we have used the formula of the spatial triangle. We have used this formula, right? We have used this formula, remember, to solve the problem, right? We have used this to solve the problem. T, which is the hypotenuse, is equal to 2x, right? 2x, 2 times the shorter leg, right? 2 times the shortest leg, right? And here, the leg that is medium, right? The leg that is medium is going to be square root of 3 times the length of the shortest leg, right? So, and here in our example, it was 5. So 5 was equal to square root of 3 times x, right? Square root of 3 times x, okay? So that's how we came about solving this example down here using the formula in the spatial triangle that we saw. So there are many other examples, so you can try them. And if you have any difficulty along the line, okay, in our Zoom class, we are going to talk about it again. And if you have any problem or you didn't understand what was actually going on, don't worry. In our Zoom class, we'll go over it, and you can ask any question that you deem necessary. All right. So these are some examples here. We are going to look at them. You can check on it by yourself. Okay. And if you find it confusing, we are going to do it together in our Zoom, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to end the class here. It's already far above our time, okay? So you take good care of yourself. Make sure you always wash your hands and put on your mask, okay? Whenever you are going out, okay? All right. So you take care. See you guys hopefully by the first week, and we might resume, okay? So hopefully by then we are going to be in class together and we'll solve more of these questions, okay? All right, take care, take good care of yourself, okay? Peace, enjoy.